Welcome to BitBoy Crypto. My name is Ben. Every day on this channel, I show you how to make money in cryptocurrency. If you like money in crypto, then hit the subscribe button and make sure to hit the bell for notifications so you get notified of whenever I make new content, which is multiple times per day. We may actually be kicking that up here sometime soon. We may be doing even more videos. We have some special collabs coming this week with the Martini guy, Leo, Ivan. So we got a lot of stuff coming on. Guys, come here. Come a little closer. Come a little closer, guys. Today I'm going to be playing Dr. Phil for you guys, okay? I'm going to tell you guys that your life is not as bad as it seems. Things are not great right now on the crypto markets. Or are they? Or are they? I'm going to be showing you guys the sunny side of what's happening right now and why you guys should not be panicking, because this is the number one way that people lose. Because usually what we'll see is after gigantic drops, people tend to sell the bottoms when they should be selling the tops and buying the bottoms. So today we're going to be talking. Oh, I've got the wrong thing in here. Hold on one second, guys. Need to change the. Hold on 1 second. There, that one's changed. Let me come here. You got the wrong show rundown today. Let me fix that. Okay, there we go. Okay. All right. Okay, guys, thank you, everybody, for watching the channel. We're at 258,000 subscribers right now, trying to get to 300K by next week. Can we do it? If the market keeps dropping like this, I'm sure we can. We're trying on a track to get to 1 million by the end of the year. Hey, guys, the more people that subscribe to this channel, the more people that watch these videos, the more people will come into crypto. So let's go ahead and make sure, because if you didn't know, the main reason why people invest in cryptocurrency is because they like to look at me. That's actually the number one reason. So, guys, on today's show, we're going to be talking about billions of dollars liquidated in cryptocurrency. We're going to be talking about ETH below $1,000. Right now, this current moment, it is below $1,000, a number that I didn't quite think we would see. We're going to be talking about why this happened. Then we're going to be talking about what are the prospects for this to bounce back, and what is the timeline for this to occur. We're going to be talking about the stimulus information that could be coming out as soon as Thursday, and I think that kind of ties into all this. And then we're going to be talking about, some altcoin deals. Right now, there's a lot of altcoins on sale. That's what we say here. They're on sale. And we're also going to be discussing a specific altcoin that pumped this week, EOS, and then all of a sudden it had a lot of chaos. So we'll be talking about that chaos and why, and why a lot of us expected that. Expected the big news that they got. And then lastly, I'm just going to be telling you guys, like, what do you do with all this information? What do you do with all this information? So let's go ahead and jump over to the markets here, and let's kick it off and get started. I know that you guys you felt like I had abandoned you yesterday, because we had two videos. We had a Bybit tutorial. We also had a video that was very important that I put out on my impersonators, because I have hundreds of impersonators out there. I love you. You're special. You're not that special where I'm just going to randomly contact you and ask for money. So that's never going to happen. So guys, make sure if you missed that scam video, that after this live stream is over, you guys go and check that out, because you're definitely going to want to see that. People out there are losing a lot of money to impersonators, a very popular thing in the crypto space. But I went to the Ravens-Titans playoff game yesterday. My son's a big Derrick Henry fan, so we drove up to Nashville, went to the game, and we had a good time. But on the way back, the prices were plummeting, and, I said, I'm just going to take a day off. I'm just going to take a day off from making a current video. I didn't want to make another car video. I think that cheapens what we do here sometimes when we do too many of those. So that's why I didn't really make a lot of comments on this yesterday. And I kind of also was waiting for, a bottom. Like I didn't feel like I could come on yesterday when the price was down around $34,000 or $35,000 and say confidently, like, this is what you do. Because I'm still waiting for some confirmation on where the price is going to, which we don't have that confirmation yet. So everything is a little bit up in the air. But what I can tell you is that this is not the end of the rodeo. I'll be telling you, if this was September or August, I would be telling you get out right now. I would be telling you get out. If we saw the kind of market move we saw yesterday, if we saw that in August, the end of August or September or October, I would be saying exit the market, short it to the ground, because that's how the timeline goes. But right now, even though you're looking at Bitcoin at 32,366 and you're looking at Ethereum right now at $1,006 according to CoinMarketCap, this is not something to be panicked over, guys. And I've really seen the difference between me during this cycle and the last cycle in terms of my panic level. Like, I don't get panicked about things. I see the prices dropped. And this is the difference between being a seasoned investor, a seasoned person in this market, and someone that's new. Like, someone that's new comes in, or someone that maybe just flirted around with it in 2017 and then left. You see these prices, you see the drops, and you say, oh no, it's the same thing. And it's just not. Like, there's so many different fundamental reasons along with the cycle, the cycles of Bitcoin, that this is actually not unexpected. And we've talked about this on the channel several times. We didn't know where we were going to get the correction. We didn't know where we were going to get it. It looked like it was going to be either 40K or 50K. We held 40 for a few days and started looking more, and we'll talk about in a little bit why there's some really bullish news going on. Started looking at me more like it was going to be 50K. I expected it to be at 30K. We didn't get it at 30K. I was expecting it then. And then when we held above 40, I'm like, okay, well, 50 is the next logical number to kind of look at. And so we've discussed that, on the channel. Now, back to the markets here. Bitcoin dominant, 68.7%. It has been dropping a good bit here recently. Volume, $226 billion. Market cap, oh, look at that, guys. Under $1 trillion market cap. It was so hard to get there. We got there, and then we dumped. I'd be really curious to see what that, maybe the overall market cap has a bit of a resistance there at $1 trillion as it dropped down underneath. I think we got to 105 or to 1.1 trillion, didn't we, at the peak? Let's see, almost 1.082. So kind of interesting to kind of see Bitcoin and the overall total market cap of cryptocurrency both kind of run into a resistance there. 1.1 trillion for the overall market cap, and then obviously 40K, 42K for Bitcoin. So let's see. Let's look at the biggest losers. Let's look at some of the total blood going on in the markets right now. Let's see, is anything up over the last 24 hours? Horizon, Neo, wow, look at those. Those didn't have massive drops. Horizon going up now. A lot of people saying a big run on privacy coins is coming. We got Zcash is up. Horizon is up. Neo is up, which I'm surprised about, but I think they had some big news out today or something like that. These are all stable coins. Nobody cares about that. Let's look at the bloodbath. Okay. Bitcoin Gold, Bitcoin Diamond. I wouldn't invest in those anyways, guys. Stay away from those Bitcoin forks. But anything below Bitcoin Cash, I know we picked BSV for a big pump and it happened, but I generally stay away from Bitcoin forks. Maker down 28%, Nano down 28%, EOS 27%, BSV down 26%, still up 13% for the week. Had a huge pump and then immediately the market fell out. Litecoin down 24%. Good buy on Litecoin today. CRO down 22%. I'm feeling that because I'd moved some money over, some Ethereum over to my Crypto.com account to switch over to my Crypto.com card to spend. If you want to sign up for the Crypto.com card, by the way, and get $25, do that at crocard.bitboy.live. But the point is I moved some Ethereum over there and I was like, I don't want to go ahead and hit the cash out button on this and put it on my card to spend. And that was not a good decision because obviously it dropped considerably.
Do you think Litecoin can recover fast, or what do you think?
Guys, I think Sanzex Super Chat asking about Litecoin, how quickly will it recover? Guys, the recovery of everything is based upon Bitcoin reaching equilibrium, Bitcoin reaching a moment of cool down. And I think that's going to be one of the benefits we're going to see here of this insane dump all over the markets is that Bitcoin is now going to have a redo. We're going to have a redo now to be able to move up on the markets and not do it so insanely fast. Like, guys, this was unhealthy. Where we were at was unhealthy for the price of Bitcoin and for the overall market cap. And so I think for Litecoin, can it bounce back? I think the alts have a good chance to bounce back a lot faster than Bitcoin. Reason being is because I think Bitcoin is going to find a bottom here somewhere between $30,000 and $32,000, and it's going to move up maybe a little slower than it did last time. Still going to see some big moves, but the volatility has been so insane lately. Going back and forth between 38 and 42 ranging $4,000 in a 24-hour period multiple times. Like that's intense. That's the kind of volatility we expect to see towards the end of this bull run, not right here in the beginning of it. So definitely crazy to see that happen. So I think Litecoin can bounce back. I think a lot of things can bounce back. We've got to ultimately see, and we're going to talk about this more, like where's the price target? Where are we expecting everything to bottom out at? So we looked at the bloodbath. I mean, guys, almost everything down 20%. Cosmos down 19%. Graph down 18%. I mean, you got to really go down here to find things that are down less than 10%. Synthetics holding tough. Look at that. Only down 9% on this crazy market. Filecoin down 5.9%. So there we go. That's a look at all of the altcoins. We're not going to talk too much about altcoins outside of Ethereum today. But let's move on to Bitcoin here, guys. I mean, what the crap? What Bitcoin? What is wrong with you? You guys can see I was drawing some lines here. So guys, the price has dropped so considerably, okay? Let's look at how much of a percentage this has dropped since the top here. Because this is what's really important, is trying to figure out, is this the drop that we've been calling for? Because, a lot of us have been saying the market's unhealthy. And you guys hear us say that, but like, is it legit? Is that for real? Is the market really unhealthy? And I would say yes, very, very, very unhealthy for the price to go up that much. We need a big correction. What is the number that we've been calling for? A 25 to 40% correction. Now, I've also told you guys that this market we're in right now, we could get less volatility on the downside than we've seen in previous cycles. And the reason is you have PayPal and Grayscale buying up insane amounts of cryptocurrency, still continuing to do it. There's not going to be enough supply to go around. And so, because of that, these people are not selling. Like, I can guarantee you, who didn't sell yesterday? PayPal. Why? Why do these companies not sell? I think that's a good question to be asking ourselves. Because I think the reason is extremely, extremely important to understand. The reason why PayPal is not going to sell and Grayscale is not going to sell. I mean, obviously they have their shares of Bitcoin divested and things like that, so I don't think they really could sell. But the point is that these companies have enough money to just buy more. That's the key. When they understand the price of Bitcoin is at a premium, they understand getting Bitcoin, period, is a premium, they're not looking for moments to sell, because when they sell, somebody else is getting those Bitcoin. They want all the Bitcoin. They want all of it. So what these companies are doing now, could they play a role in manipulating and pushing the price down? Yeah, certainly. I think there's, there had to be, I believe, some manipulation somewhere for this price to drop so far. But these companies aren't sitting there and saying, oh, you know what? I think now the price is dropping, let's go ahead and sell all our Bitcoin and buy back in lower. They have an unlimited supply of money, pretty much. They can just buy more, and they understand that actually cashing out the money that they do have and moving that from cash to Bitcoin is an overall good play because of inflation. I really want to look into this. Charlie Munger, is it Munger or Munger? Yeah, Munger. He's like Warren Buffett's right-hand man. They're about equally as old. And I even saw him a video where he was talking about how crazy inflation is going to get, which is so insane. Like, hey, inflation is going to go insane. He's called it the lost decade of investing from 2021 to 2031. I'm going to call it the age of crypto. But he's talking about basically how the inflation is going to go insane, that people are not going to be able to make money investing because of the value. Even if you're making money, the money's devalued by how much money's getting printed. And when Charlie Munger is saying things that are bullish for Bitcoin, like that's when like things are insane. Now, he would never say that because him and Warren Buffett are big on, Bitcoin is rat poison, even though I'm sure they have some in their portfolio. So that's why these companies are not selling, though, is because they understand that the inflation is going up, the value of the dollar is going down, and so they're looking to offload more cash into Bitcoin through the OTC market. And that's something else I saw a lot of people talking about over the weekend. Some people were sending me some stuff. about, oh, well, you guys are saying that Bitcoin is so scarce and all this, but like, if you go look at Coinbase, like people aren't buying like, billions of dollars of, crypto on Coinbase. And you say these companies are making these big buys. Guys, I know a lot of you are new. It's a little different to understand. You're used to OTC being over the counter, and that's where you go and get over the counter drugs. Okay. OTC stands for over the counter also in the world of investing, but it means over the counter trading. And so that means people are buying stuff off the books. People are not buying all like 1,000 Bitcoin from Coinbase. Okay, that's not happening. So all of these moves that are happening with the big buys from these companies are happening in the background. They're happening behind the scenes. So you don't even know when this stuff is occurring. The only thing we can see is when money is transferred. And so we did talk about a story last week where the price of a lot of money was flowing back into exchanges, people taking profits, but it's not these big companies. It's whales, early miners, people that bought in at 20K last time are looking to get their money back. That's a lot of what we're seeing. So as far as what's happening right now with the price, when you look at this chart, I drew this nice little line here, a nice little line. And it's amazing like how, you're looking for 3 points of contact here to make a trend. And when you look back, I mean, guys, look how dead on that line is. And this is on the 4-hour chart, which is a pretty reliable chart. And so, like, a part of me wants to believe that this has bottomed here. But if you really zoom up and look, it's not dead on here. That one's not dead on either. Let me move that up a little bit.
Does your 322 prediction top still stand for Bitcoin?
Yeah, of course. Guys, all of this is helping my case for that high of a Bitcoin, okay? So $322,000 is definitely still in play for sure for Bitcoin. And now 400, 500K, I mean, it could still be in play. There's nothing right now that makes me think that that's not going to happen other than the fact it's just so unbelievable to think that it could in the first place. But I think that this is what's happened. And let me tell you, I would much rather have seen the price dip like this, huge, quickly, a huge dump quickly, rather than seeing this bleed out over weeks and weeks and weeks. Like that takes all the momentum away. And you really see what happens with the hype and excitement of these bull runs, where even when the price is super pumping, like there's a lot of people that want to find out what's going on. People also want to know what's going on with the prices dumping. When crypto really gets in a dangerous spot is when nobody's thinking about it. Like when you wake up and you're not checking your portfolio, or you wake up and you say like, I'm not even going to worry about where the price is today. I'm sure it's in the same range. That's when crypto really kind of gets dangerous. As long as this volatility is here, there's a lot of money to be made. And so a lot of retail investors sold. I definitely know people that sold for sure. I've talked to them. But they're people, this is their first rodeo and they're scared right now. People are scared. There's no reason to be scared right now at all, by any stretch of the imagination. Once again, if this was August or September, we could be having that conversation. But when you have, Anthony Scaramucci coming out, over the weekend announcing his big Bitcoin fund, there's so many big Bitcoin funds. Another company is doing a Grayscale-like or a MicroStrategy-like public offering on Bitcoin. Guys, this is the institutional stuff we've been talking about. This is it. It's not just, two companies jumping in. You're not going to just see FOMO with companies buying Bitcoin. You're just going to see FOMO with institutions putting together hedge funds for cryptocurrency, putting together public offerings for cryptocurrency. That's one thing that we're going to see that is going to really, push this even further. So in terms of what happened yesterday, Bitcoin was hit by 2.7 billion futures liquidation. So what does that mean? That means people leverage trading got wrecked, absolutely wrecked. And I like how they use a picture of Rick from The Walking Dead. I don't know why. We just had Coral on the show last week. I don't know why the Rick? Why the Rick? Isn't that proprietary to Walking Dead? Can they just draw an image like that? I don't know. Okay, so why would mass liquidations cause Bitcoin to drop? In the futures market, liquidations of positions occur because traders are borrowing additional capital to trade with larger positions. The downside of the leverage is when the price of Bitcoin sees a minor drop, it can cause a position to get liquidated or be worthless. So that's what all of a sudden causes the huge drops. The price is dropping, and then all of a sudden it gets a price target where liquidation occurs. I would think especially around 35,000. That happened. 32,000 also. That's why we're seeing it continue to drop right now. And so because of that, it causes these really big moves to the downside. And here's an example of it. It says, for instance, let's say a trader uses 10x leverage and borrows 10 times his capital to buy Bitcoin at 40K. If the price drops 10% to 36%, or 36K, position gets liquidated. When a long position gets liquidated, position is then sold to the market. Hence, the majority of the market is longing Bitcoin, and long contracts begin to get liquidated. It creates massive selling pressure. And that's what happened. On yesterday, the Bitcoin market saw a massive long squeeze triggered by large sell orders on Coinbase. As whales or high net worth investors sold, it caused many long contracts to get liquidated in a matter of hours. And I think, guys, this is so key. This lines up so much with what we've just been talking about, which is the fact that these are not institutions selling this off. You know how we know? Because there were large sell orders on Coinbase. Like these people aren't using Coinbase to hold their giant amounts of Bitcoin. Only, probably people that had a lot of money that just wanted to get in through an easy outlet, and they get in Coinbase. And then when we talk about whales, it's important to understand what we talk about when we say whales. These are people who got rich because of Bitcoin, most likely. Okay, that the majority of whales, and you might be really interested to know this, the majority of whales were early miners. When you could get, let's see, so I think you could get 50 BTC per block for the first round of Bitcoin, and you could get 25 per block. And the difficulty was very low because not a lot of people were doing it. You could do it on a regular computer up through about the first cycle and a half. So a lot of people got mega rich. I mean, there was a story on Reddit about somebody that got somebody that found 127. You said like 127 Bitcoin on an old computer because it was pretty much worthless back then. Like. It would be like it would be very similar to if you had a Target gift card and if your wife had a Target gift card and she went to Target to buy something and she's like, brought it back and she's like, oh, by the way, there's 37 cents on this card. Like, what would you do with it? If you're like me, you would literally throw it away for sure. You would get 37 cents. Why don't you just buy a pack of gum? You'd throw it away. That's the way that people treated Bitcoin early on. Is like, if you had it, it was great, but it's like XRP. XRP right now, is like, I don't know what it dropped to. Maybe it's 25 cents or something. But like at 30 cents, like one XRP isn't worth that much. So if you had like 2 or 3 XRP, you'd be like, I got $1, I'll throw it away. That's how people used to look at Bitcoin. And so that's what a lot of these big money people were people that were mining back then. Because it just shows you like how insane the price has gone up. It's the number one appreciating asset in history, I believe. So it used to just not be worth that much. And so a lot of these whales, they cash out through Coinbase. Because if you're an OTC, if you're a big investor, like a real big investor, you're cashing out on the OTC market. I mean, if I cash out a lot of crypto, I'm cashing out on the OTC market. But a lot of people are making these sell orders on Coinbase, which really drives the retail side of this. And guys, the retail side is small potatoes, very small potatoes compared to the large money that's coming into this space. We did just see Bitcoin drop a little bit. It went down to 31.3, I think, a second ago, but it's bounced back up now. What's that? Everybody's asking about Ethereum. Okay, so, sub 1K ETH. Yeah, here we go. So here we are, the sub 1K ETH. You're looking at it right now. $995. Let's draw a little line on this chart. Let's see what's going on with it. And notice, guys, when I'm on the 4-hour chart, like we're still not seeing these green dots from Market Cipher. And the green dot is kind of a sign of the bottom of the market because that's like, hey, it's a good time to go in. You can find these on the lower time frames. I actually got myself in a real tricky spot yesterday, leverage trading Bitcoin. A green dot appeared on a 30-minute chart, and I got in, and then it dropped huge. I had to lower my stop loss so I didn't hit it because I knew it was going to bounce. Then I loaded some more into the trade, and then it bounced back up to like 37,000. I actually ended up profiting on the trade, which was really crazy because I thought I was about to lose a pretty good bit. But that's what I'm waiting for on Market Cipher here is to give me the sign when it's go time. Like you look back here, on New Year's, or on Christmas Eve, and you see where that last sign came. There was one on the 22nd, and then it didn't really play out. Had the other massive drop in Ethereum, where it dropped from what did it drop down to? 549 from like 700, something like that. And then you got the green dot over here on Christmas Eve, and then look what has happened since then. So I'm still kind of waiting to look for that. And if you look at this drop right here for Ethereum, it hasn't dropped, enough to put us into the danger zone yet, which really makes me think, we may still have more room on the downside here for Ethereum. I mean, you look, it dropped all the way down to 937. But guys, what a gift. What a freaking gift this is. A sub $1,000 ETH. And once again, if this was in September or August, I'd be saying get the out, okay? But this is the beginning of the bull run. We're very confident in that. I'm very confident this is the beginning of the bull run. And for that reason, what a gift to be able to get this Ethereum at this price. Now if you're holding it, you don't have any more money to pile in, then you just gotta be patient and wait. Could it fall more? Yes. Will it definitely fall more? I'm not sure. I would say no. It could definitely bounce up from here. Fortunately for Ethereum, it just had that giant pump right before this occurred. And so, I mean, obviously, guys, the one thing that does change here, is, yeah, that's not good. The one thing that does change is the fact that, I mean, it's very possible now we're not going to see all-time highs for Ethereum before January 17th, like I previously predicted. And if you watch my video on Saturday, what did I say? On Saturday night, I said, barring a crazy move to the downside for Bitcoin, which at the time I said I didn't see it at that moment. I didn't see it until we're going to go higher because we'd held the support. Aside from that occurring, we should be at all-time highs by the 17th, maybe within even a few days. And we could still be at all-time highs by the 17th. It's definitely still possible, but that was based on us getting a 30% move to the upside. And the price has dropped so far now that a 30% move to the upside from when we were at, I believe, 1,300 or 1,200, that's not even going to get us there at this point. So definitely something to watch. Now, let's see. If we're looking here at some lines here on Ethereum, if we were to draw some lines from this support here over to, come on now, okay, to here, this would kind of look like this should probably be the bottom. Which we're going to talk about exact targets here in a minute, so we'll get to that in a second. But what? So that's what's happening with Ethereum. And also, guys, remember, if you want to trade Bitcoin or Ethereum, you guys can do that at Bybit. Remember, hey, long or short action. What are we doing? Trend is your friend. We're looking for moves to the upside. We're looking for stuff just like this to make massive trades. With Bitcoin and Ethereum, make sure you're setting those tight stop losses. I mean, 31,000, if it double bottomed here, could be a bottom for Bitcoin. Could go, I don't see it going lower than 30. Could, glance off 29.9 in a flash crash here to kind of get the bottom of the market squared away. But, these are good opportunities. I mean, we know the ceiling for Bitcoin, the local ceiling is 42,000. Right now it's 31,000. That's 11.5K lower. Think about that. So this could be a massive opportunity. If you want to do that, make sure to check that out at bybit.bitboy.live. Check out the tutorial I did yesterday morning if you want to know how to do that. So we're going to look at the price targets for Ethereum and Bitcoin, but the main question that everybody wants to know is why did we get this big of a drop? Like, why did this happen? We just looked at the liquidation that pushed it down, but it was already falling before all the liquidations occurred. And guys, I think what you have to look at is just how overbought this market was. We've looked at the 2017 market, and we had nothing like this occur. Some people are talking about some crazy stuff going on in politics and things like that, which we're not going to really get into. But there is some crazy stuff going on, but I don't think there's any gigantic news coming in the next few days politically that's going to cause anything like this. You got to remember, if there were any kind of like political turmoil, that's good for Bitcoin, right? That's good for Bitcoin. All this deplatforming and stuff, like that's really irrelevant. I mean, Bitcoin solves this. It's bullish for Bitcoin. Like Bitcoin solves a lot of this deplatforming, centralization issues that a lot of people are having. And so when you really look at why this occurred, the simplest answer is This occurred because the market was overbought. That's why it occurred, okay? And there a lot of people FOMOing into this, and part of this run-up we recently had could have been people getting their stimulus checks. Not everyone has received theirs yet, but, those stimulus checks going into Bitcoin, I mean, just think about those people if they got in at that time. As the retail money, it tends to do this. But I think there was one point after the stimulus checks were given the first time maybe that it dropped as well, but now that's well up. Guys, if you were to ask me where the market should be the first week of January, if you would have asked me this a month ago, I would have told you somewhere around 25 to 30K. That's probably what I would have said. This is a healthy market correction. When the market goes up so fast, okay? When the market goes up so incredibly fast, like we just saw, there's no consolidation. There's no point for people to re-enter. And the people that are jumping in are the retail people, because the big money institutions are, they're putting money in either in a dollar cost averaging way where you're putting in the same amount over a long period of time, and that reduces the volatility. I think we might get the last big leg down here in a second. We'll see. But, you are, I lost my train of thought now. What was I saying, TJ? You remember? I can't remember what I was saying. Yeah. So this candle over here, it really distracted me as I'm watching this new print on the 4-hour. Where am I waiting for it to get to? I'm kind of waiting for Market Cipher to give me a green dot on this thing. And when that's the indication of the bottom. And that's a real simple indicator. It takes a lot of stuff into consideration with the market, but I'm to the point where I just, like, here's the long and short of it. I trust Market Cipher where it has these green dots, the big green dot that shows up at the bottom. The last one on the 4-hour chart showed up on Christmas Eve. So we haven't had one in a long time. Once again, showing the fact that this thing has just been going up and up and up and up. But when you don't have a correction, you don't have opportunities for people to jump in and rebuy. And the institutions, they're either dollar cost averaging over a long period of time, which is a great way. It reduces volatility. Or they've got money on the sidelines, like I tell you guys to do. Like, people were asking me $1,100 for Ethereum. Should you jump in? I said, sure, jump in, keep money on the sidelines. This is why. You jump in, you go ahead and make a buy. Yes, it would be much better if you just waited for this drop. But there was no guarantee we were going to get this massive of a drop. Now that we do, if you would follow my advice and you had some on the sidelines and you put money in, then you're in a much better spot. You're in a much better spot to be able to jump in at these prices. Would I jump in at these prices? Absolutely. Absolutely, I would jump in at these prices. Even if it goes down, the volatility to the downside from here is not drastic enough, in my opinion, to make any negligible difference. Like, if you get in at 29.9 or 31.5, like, is there really that big of a difference? Is the risk of missing the low price before the price goes up higher than just than the difference between what you can get in at maybe later? I think the answer to that is absolutely. I think absolutely the risk is higher to miss out on these, bargain basement prices here than it is to, wait to see how, guys, and this is a very important principle for you guys to understand, okay? No one knows the bottom. No one knows the bottom. Do you know the only reason why we know when bottoms hit are when they're confirmed to be bottom? So, like, when in December 2018, I was very confident that we had bottomed, but I can only look back and be correct on that call that I made on the bottom because, look at the market. Now we know that was the bottom of that bear market. You don't know the tops and you don't know the bottoms until the prices either go way up or go way down. So too many people spend so much time trying to judge and get the exact tops or exact bottoms that they end up missing good opportunities. And I think, that's why I think I've been successful in this market, is because I just understand when prices are down, it's a good time to get them. If they go down further, so be it. But compared to where Bitcoin was at, if you bought it at 35,000, if you bought it at 35,000 on the way down, you're still in great shape. You're still in great shape for buying, when the bottom occurs. You still have skin in the game at this point, and you're still way ahead of where you would have been if you maybe had not bought it at that point. So I tend to think that possibly we could be at near the bottom. I mean, when you're looking at these lines here, that goes back on Bitcoin. We're going to look at this on Ethereum too. When you start doing the math on this, okay, let me get my handy dandy, I always want to call it a calculator. It's a ruler. Get my handy dandy ruler out, okay? And we're going to look here at from the top, make it drop. Sorry, I was a little wop. How are you? You can tell TJ's on TikTok. Guys, I feel like we are satisfied. I feel like it's satisfied. I mean, looking at this now, I can't make it too much bigger.
Psychologically, just 30K for Bitcoin, 1K for Ethereum are strong numbers.
Yeah, from a psychological perspective, 30K for Bitcoin and 1K for Ethereum are very strong numbers. I mean, I'm about ready to call this the bottom. 26.62%. Is that 26.62%. What's the number I've been telling you guys? 25 to 40%. Because of the decrease in volatility, I believe we could seeing less 40%ers and more 25%ers. And if we were to go back, I know everybody's interested in what's going on with the current market, obviously. But if we go back and look at, 2017, which I am going to do because I'm just freaking gangster like that. Okay, that's just how I roll. This is. Hold on, let me go back here. I'm actually going to open this on a different one. Trading view. Let me pull this up here. I'm going to get another one going on here. BTC. And now I need to do Bitstamp. I'm just gonna look for some of you guys that are just doubting that this is true. Let's go back and look in 2017 and look at the market and see exactly what occurred. Okay, let's go to we need to be on the daily chart. Daily chart. 2017. Here we go. Okay, let's pull the puppy up. There we go. God, it looks so tiny now compared to what it was. Okay, so we're all of 2017 pretty much shown here. Okay. Nope, that's not what I want to do. 2017. A little bit more. Okay. All right. So let's look at this. I just want to give you guys some confidence to know that this is correct. Okay. Like look at this drop right here. Okay, we're gonna look right here and see what kind of drop this was, because this would have been, actually, I would say probably this one right here that happened in May is probably closer to where we're at right now in the cycle. So let's look at that. Okay, let me turn off Market Cipher on this. We don't need that for this. Okay. All right. Let's see how big of a drop this was. Okay. This would have been in May. Okay. Look at that. 33.11%. Now, what I want you guys to notice here, okay? I want you guys to notice how minuscule that looks. That little dip looks. How minuscule does that look? Look how high it goes. And there are people out there who sold that may have never got back in. And to look back now and consider where this drop was and how insignificant it was. I mean, even if we were to look at this little drop right here, like this little drop was a 15% drop, okay? So these provide buying opportunities that down the road are actually some of the best spots for you to jump in at. And there's plenty more where that came from. I mean, that was one drop. We can look at this drop that occurred. That was a 30% drop, okay? And then even from here down to here, 34% drop, okay? And this range right here, like I believe that this range about right here, this is pretty much about where we're at right now. So I think we could probably see some similar movement to this because we're not to parabolic yet. Now, I think that one interesting thing we can look at here is what occurred with what occurred on the upside, okay? Like, what did this run look like? What kind of percent gain was that? That was about a 68% gain for Bitcoin over in the beginning of that bull run. If we go back over to the Bitcoin chart and we look at the top side here of this run, let's just say from 27, see 27 to the top side, about 52%. Okay, so what I can see happening here is I can see the market establishing a bottom here today. I think today the market's going to establish a bottom, whether it's now or in a couple hours. It might, dip a little bit lower. It could dip as low as, like I said, 29.9. I don't think so based on the chart here. But what are the targets we're looking at? I believe we are looking at, I think somewhere between 30 and 31 is where it's going to bottom at. I don't see it going any lower. And like I said, if it does, it's just going to barely wick down and pop right back up. Looking here at the line, it seems like we are very close to a bottom. I'm still waiting for a little confirmation with Market Cipher, but we also may not get that. I mean, that's not a guarantee that we're going to get that indicator. But either way, we are very close. I mean, we could see it happen. We could see bottom happen right here before our very eyes. As it looks like it could be dropping a little bit more. Now, if it drops considerably lower than this, we'll have to kind of redraw our line. But, I mean, if it happens within the 30,000 to 31,000 range, and that's where it bottoms, I mean, I think this line's still going to be pretty close to accurate. Now, for Ethereum, let's look at what's happened with Ethereum here. It's getting crushed right now. When you look at the connecting line here on the 4-hour chart, it's getting closer down here if you look right here. I mean, the price target here would probably be somewhere around 885. That's what it looks like, guys. It could be heading down to 885, and then that would probably bounce real hard. It might go ahead and bounce at 900. Obviously, that's a good psychological number. But, I mean, ultimately, I'm not worried. You shouldn't be worried. You should not be panicked in this market. I think that's something to really, really pay attention to is when we do get the bounce, it's going to be epic. Will it be overnight where it bounces and goes right back to where it was? No, it probably won't. I think a slower burn on the upside is definitely going to be more beneficial this time. But to me, Ethereum still has more room on the bottom to go, and that's like I said, presents good buying opportunities for people. Okay, for people that thought they missed out on it, here's a new chance to get in. $800 ETH is an absolute steal. Like, my gosh, an $800 ETH. I would give my right hand if I wasn't right-handed. I need it for my typing and my clicking. Okay. So to me, price targets for Ethereum would be around $900, $885. I think it does still have a little bit of room to the bottom. Now, do I want it to go down? I mean, I already have an amount of Ethereum where we're just going to hold it. We're not really adding to ETH. We're looking for other altcoins to add. Added some Litecoin over the weekend and some Cardano. Added some Cardano this weekend. But for Ethereum, I'm good with what I got. So we're just letting that one ride out. So, of course, sure, go ahead and go back up. I've got no reason to want it to go down. But it gives other people, other retail investors, good buying opportunities, which overall, the more people that are in the market, the healthier it is. I mean, if you've got only 100 holders in a coin and one of them sells, think about the drop. The more people that are in, the healthier the market is. And I mean, that's what we want, right? Like, guys, we're not getting to, $300,000 Bitcoin if people don't know about Bitcoin. If there's not enough people in, we got to have the institutional money and the retail side, and they kind of work off of each other in terms of building hype and excitement to get into the market. But the point here is, looking at Ethereum, I do not know if we have bottomed here. So with Bitcoin, I think we're very close. Look at the volatility right now. Like, it seems like it's trying to find a bottom almost at the moment. We've got a real intense battle here between the bulls and the bears on how low to drop this thing. If you look at the candle here, it looks like it's very close to. It looks like that 30,500 is a really strong level right now. I mean, when you look back, I mean, guys, look at back on the 4th and the 5th of January. I mean, that was also really strong support. So I don't know if it's going to plunge below that. If it plunges below that, it is looking like it's heading down to 30,000. And I'm tempted to call a bottom at 30,500. I'm really tempted to do that. I mean, heck, I'm going to long this thing if it gets down even lower. Shoot, I may go ahead and put in a little order right here, right now. 30,500. Let's see here. I'm gonna set an order right here. I'm gonna see what happens. See, set a stop loss at 30,300. I want a stop loss at 29.89. I'm comfortable with that. I don't think it's gonna drop that low. Take profit. Whew, that's not much of a bounce to make 100%. That's pretty good. I'm just gonna set it there. All right, yeah, we're gonna put this in, see if we can get this thing ordered at 30,500. See if it'll drop down there and bounce off. So this could end up being an epic trade because I just don't see it dropping down below. It's plunging right now. This is fun. This is exciting TV right here, guys. I mean, my gosh, it is really, really battling. But what I found is, and one thing when you're trading to think about is a lot of times wherever you set your targets, like it will almost get there, get like, $30,501, and then it won't hit it because, kind of like the market knows that it wants that satisfaction of helping retail investors not fill their orders. Okay. But we'll continue to monitor this. Here, we might get it filled. Is it 30? Oh, here we go. Push, down, push, red candle. Fill my order. I don't know if it's going to fill. We'll see. We'll keep an eye on that trade, though. If I lose, I set my stop loss at like 20%. I'm willing to play with that on the downside. Oh, it did? Oh, it said failed. Oh, because I had it at 100% here. Good thing y'all noticed that. Good thing y'all noticed that because I didn't.
And then another thing after that is talk about like scooping alt stuff.
I have to just go less. There we go. Okay. All right. So, So let's talk about what we have coming on this week that could actually lead to the price going back up, and then we're going to talk about altcoins. Okay, guys, it's pretty widely reported now that Joe Biden is going to be announcing on Thursday a stimulus plan that, there's virtually no way will not get approved. He has all the support of $3 trillion with $2,000 payments to each person. The only question is going to be how much, the question is going to be how often are they going to do those? When we look at the money printing, we got filled. We did it. When we look at the money printing, right, going out of control, everyone sees this. Everyone sees that it's time to jump out of cash. And with this stimulus news being widely reported, I'll be honest with you. To me, when I saw this dip, when I saw the price going down, the first thought I had is that this is going to push us up. Okay, so that was kind of what I was expecting. If the price did not go, we already made 8K. If the price did not bounce up from that, or if the price did not push up above 42, close to 50, it was going to when the stimulus got announced. But what occurred is that I think this is the last push down. That's why I said manipulation. I think there's definitely some manipulation on this to the downside. And the reason is because everyone knows this is coming Thursday. So I think by Thursday, this will have bottomed out for sure. And once that gets announced, that will be the catalyst to push us forward again. I can definitely see that happening for sure. That's what I'm kind of banking on, is that over time, the stimulus, like guys, if you go back and look at the last time that the stimulus got announced, okay, what was the last date of the stimulus, TJ? Can you look that up? I'm gonna find this on the yeah. God, I hate when I do that. I hate when that happens. When the first stimulus got announced, and then when the checks actually got sent out. God, if we got the bottom of this, it's going to be real nice. I can tell you that much. Okay. It was announced in April. Okay. So it was announced in April and they hit in May. So if we go back and we look during that time, you see a stimulus had a big, because guys, basically this right here was from the stimulus. Okay. So if we measure what that was, because then we went through the long period of sideways action, okay? I hope that guy that counter trades us isn't counter trading us and going to stop us out on purpose. Cat Daddy. Oh, Cat Daddy. Okay. 43%. Oh, it actually went up, though. Let me measure it the opposite way. Because, it's different if you measure it up than if you measure it down. So we'll just take it from here. 77% gain. Okay. So if we were to apply, look at that. TJ. We're up like 12 grand on this trade. That's pretty good move right there. I hope this thing keeps going up. That'll be pretty good. I mean, guys, look at that. 14,000, 15,000. This is exciting TV. This is exciting TV. 14,000, 15,000, 16. See how fast this moves? I got like almost 2 BTC in this trade. So, I mean, that's still pretty good. I mean, 28% gain, still going up. At some point, maybe I should take some profit. Maybe. I don't know. What do I have the profit set at? 100% at 33,000? It's pretty good. Okay, so guys, I think we nailed the exact bottom of this. We might just keep this trade open forever. But back to the stimulus, what I was saying, if we went up from here, let's say this was the bottom, it gets announced on Thursday, okay? Let's see what that would look like, okay? Let's see what that would look like. If we got a 77%, let's say it goes back up. Let's say it just holds at like, well, no, we'll take the bottom because that's how you measure. You measure from the bottom. So if it were to go from here and it were to go up 77%, got to make my chart a little bigger. Okay, 77% would be about 53,000. So, I mean, I think that's totally doable. I mean, I think 53,000, 54,000 before we get another correction. I mean, I think this stimulus announcement could. Now, another thing it's going to depend on is how fast are these stimulus payments? How fast do we get them? Is it 2 weeks? Because the last ones came in like 2 weeks pretty much, right? So 2 weeks, you could be looking between Thursday. I would say this. I would say Thursday. Anytime you get in before Thursday will be pretty good because I think after that gets announced, we're heading straight up, And I know a lot of you guys, I know we hear stuff from people. I mean, a lot of you guys would be real excited if something different happened, in the next few weeks other than Joe Biden getting inaugurated. But does this mean alt season? Yes. Yeah. And so does this mean alt season is canceled? In terms of in the short term, absolutely. Yes, altcoin season in the very short term is in fact canceled. Okay, because guys, if you listen to what, and let's move on. Let's talk about altcoins a little bit. God, this is gonna be a good trade. Wow, that is really fantastic. I hope this thing keeps going up. That'd be nuts. Right. So guys, this is when you're looking at altcoins. I mean, buying altcoins that have gotten hammered the hardest is a great strategy to use. Okay. But this is what I'll say. I've talked to you guys a lot about altcoins, and this is why we don't talk about low cap gems right now a lot, okay? This is why we were talking about bigger cap coins, okay? Because for true alt season to come, first of all, this was a mini run. This was not the full altcoin season. That will not come until later. But it did look more and more like in the short term, we were going to be getting, an absolutely massive move for many altcoins, and we saw it. But think of the fondue fountain, okay? It's a fondue fountain. You need to go get your marshmallows chocolated, okay? So you take your marshmallows over to the fondue. We're up 23 grand in the trade. It's pretty good. You go and you get your marshmallow under the fondue, and you think about it. If you've seen let's look at a fondue fountain right now. Let me see it. Let me pull up fondue fountain, okay? Let's look at chocolate. Yeah, I want chocolate, not cheese. Okay. You look at this thing, okay? Look at this thing. You need to get your cookie chocolated, okay? You take your cookie and you put it on the top rung. That's your Bitcoin, okay? When the chocolate is coming out of the fountain, okay? You want to get it on that first little dip. This is Bitcoin. Then what happens? More chocolate flows down to the next level, okay? Then you put whatever in there. This is the way this market works. Bitcoin is at the top. When Bitcoin pumps, okay, everybody's making money. Well, then they take that money and they put it at a lower level, okay? So that's the second level, the top 10 coins. They start Ethereum especially. That's why Ethereum is always, this is why being in Ethereum is so crucial, okay? Because every time Bitcoin pumps. As soon as people take profits, is the first thing that people always put money in, okay? So that's the second rung, along with the other top 10 altcoins. After that, the profits start pouring into the top 20, the top 30, the top 50, the top 100. And if any time during this fall, okay, if the profits moving over to other places, if at any point anything happens with Bitcoin that it does not stabilize for long enough, then it gets the whole thing gets destroyed, okay? You have to start back over at the very top. We need Bitcoin to move up again. When Bitcoin moves up again, people are going to take profits, and that is going to be a little bit now. And so that's why the altcoin season is so elusive and it's so hard to get. That's why if you go back and look during 2017, it was only one period towards the end of the bull run that the altcoins absolutely exploded. Now they had incredibly big gains. You could have got, 60,000% returns in some cases. Okay. That's why the accumulation, and you can be accumulating at these levels. And I think is really good to look at. Once Bitcoin does hit a bottom, that's going to be the bottom for the whole market pretty much. I mean, in the next 24 to 48 hours. So any altcoins that you're accumulating during that time, are going to be really good for down the road. But like Chainlink, for instance, I mean, let's see where is Chainlink at right now. Chainlink is at 13. You said like $13. It was at $13 kind of at the beginning of this move up. Okay, so when you're looking for these prices of coins to get in, and I would primarily, right now be looking at some of the big boys. Okay, when you're looking for these, you're looking for deals for things that are going to pop way to the upside. You got to have that mentality of, okay, the further down I go down the list, the more things have to go right consecutively in order for this to end up, being a great move where you're going to make a lot of money. Because if you're going to put money in altcoins and then you're going to expect those altcoins to pump like immediately, that's not happening now. Okay, I was going to do a top underrated coins video tomorrow, but now, I mean, right now I don't know if you guys still want that video for lower cap gems, drop a comment in the chat and let us know, because that's a video we were going to put out tomorrow. I've got some good coins on the list, but in the short term, they're probably not going to do much. Yeah. We've got 13,000 people watching, and how many likes do we have? Less than 2,000. Guys, we should be able to get 5,000 likes right now. Let's do a run on likes. Let's see if the more likes we can get, the higher we can run Bitcoin back up to. So everybody right now, like. If you got 17 accounts, like it from every account. If you got 17 accounts, also you're probably a scammer. Okay. So last thing to talk about, or a couple more things. EOS had a giant pump, and then it immediately dumped. Now, it was going down whether the market crashed or not.
Everybody said do that video.
Everybody wants that video. Okay, well, we'll do the video tomorrow. We'll have it for you guys tomorrow at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So why did EOS dive 30% before all the bloodbath occurred? It's because Dan Larimer, their CTO, pretty much the founder of EOS, resigned. Now, if you've been in crypto for any amount of time, you probably know this, but Dan Larimer is known as a serialpreneur. Okay, serialpreneur. Somebody that basically comes in, builds something, leaves before it's finished, and then moves on to the next thing. He just can't make up his mind, And this is something that I said was going to happen. I said it was going to happen years ago. I said, just wait. He's going to leave. And he actually put out a resignation statement, and it's so ridiculous. Okay. Basically what he was saying is that, it's everybody else's fault. It's everybody else's fault why he's resigning. And, he wanted to do all this great stuff, and it's just not going to happen. He's going to do? He's going to go start the next one. The maximalists hate this guy. He's really good at raising money. He raised $4 billion. But look at the results of what he's made. I mean, if you go back and you look at Steam and you look at, BitShares and all these other projects he's worked on there, they all suck. They all suck. And if he would have stayed at any one of them, like, they might have done okay. But they all suck. None of them really work, okay? Steam is terrible. Like, I try to use Steam. It's garbage. That's why there's such a good opportunity for other, social media blockchains to come in, like Hyper or SoMe. Thanks, Cap. or SoMe or Theta. Like there's so many other alternatives that have potential based on everything that's happening now, but because like the number one decentralized blockchain, Steam, it sucks. I mean, social media blockchain. It's basically an opportunity for a bunch of whales to get in early and build up a lot of clout, and then make a bunch of money off posts, and nobody else can really get in. I mean, it's the same kind of problem that we've seen, in a lot of places. Like if you're an Instagram influencer in the beginning, you were doing good, but try to become an Instagram influencer now, it's nearly impossible. So, just wanted to touch on this. It was a big story. I mean, EOS obviously a top coin, but definitely something to watch. So what do you guys do from here? How do you take all of this information and put it together in something that's going to help you and is going to be beneficial for you in this market? Here's the number one rule. Number one thing. Do not panic. Do not panic. This is and this is the thing that I have a real hard time with is I tell you guys for a long time, hey, we need a correction. We need a correction. We need a correction. And then we get the correction and everybody sells. Everybody sells and everybody gets out. A lot of the retail investors do. This is the number one reason why retail investors lose is that you pay. Okay. Yeah. The reason people lose is because they panic and they don't understand that there are larger things at play. And so I think for everybody in this chat, don't panic, look for opportunities to buy, and just be confident that this market is going to get back to where it was and it's going to go even further. So, should we go ahead and close the trade? You think so? I'm going to check it. I'm going to change. So I'm going to set the a stop loss here of where's it at right now? 30,800. I'm just going to set it at 30,800. If it drops below that, we'll go ahead and it's about to drop there right now and close the trade. Here it goes. So we're going to go ahead and unless it bounces from there. And where's my counter trader? Where's he at? All right, guys, that's all we got. Thanks for watching. We got more videos for you guys coming later today. We set our stop loss at 30,800, so we're definitely going to end the trade in some profit. And, good. You guys got to see that, be part of it. That's all I got. Be blessed.